Hi everyone.
Good
Welcome
morning.
to the Wednesday class. Basti's here in his van. Look at that lovely wooden ceiling he's got there. Isn't it beautiful? It does look really nice, Basti.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did you make it yourself? Did you put it on yourself?
Me and a friend, we spent a lot of time working on the van, and it's looking really lovely. I'm very happy with
Yes, it's been really good. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, who have we got on? Anya Grace from Sheffield was the first one to log on. Hi, Anya. Lynn from West Runton again. A nice early posting from her. Rosso from Lille, France. There we are. Fantastic. Jane from Gloucestershire. Sally from Norwich. And Simonetta from Italy. Hi, Simonetta. It's great to have you on the chat again. Sarah and Carolyn and Steph and Chris and Jocelyn together. Fantastic. Anna, Gillian, Claudine and Anne. Basti's giving you all a wave there. And Annette from Heidelberg. Hey, all right, cool. Thank you very much for tuning in. And look, we've got someone from Germany there, Edward. Got a nice international class today. Okay, so let's just get on. I have to stop reading the chat, otherwise I'll be here all evening. I'll let Basti look after the chat now. And let me just get the slides up, show you where we're at. So if you remember, this year we are going on an epic journey together, and we are going to explore one of the meridians every single month. And we started with lung, which you can see in the purple there. We started with that at the beginning of the year, because that's kind of like the beginning of the whole cycle. So January did lung, February large intestine, March stomach, April was spleen, and May is now heart, which is a lovely month to have the heart meridian worked. Okay, so yeah, when we get to the end of the year, we would have gone all the way around the entire cycle, and hopefully we'll see the pattern behind it. So it's an amazing 1 year project. Here we go. So this month we are experiencing and working with the fire element, which is related in Chinese medicine to the heart meridian. It's related to the emotional center. The emotion is joy. So let's see if we can get as joyful as possible in the next month. It's also to do with awareness, what's called the Shen, or the awareness, the mind. It's to do with compassion as well from the heart, compassion for ourselves and for others, and we need lots of that right now. And also the Shen, which is a kind of like, it's not exactly mind, it's more like kind of mind spirit. It's like the consciousness, it's your sense of being alive, essentially, of your sense of consciousness. So that's the kind of things we're working on, and we've already done 1 point of the week. We did heart 1 last week, which was unbinding the chest. It affects the arm, and it's also used very much for frozen shoulder. I've used that a few times this week since our last webinar together last Wednesday. I've used that on quite a few clients' heart 1. It's one of my favorite points, by the way. So I won't spoil the surprise and tell you what's next, which point is next, because we've got another point of the week coming up on the heart meridian, but we can go straight in. And we're going to do some heart meridian Shen building exercises. Now, the thing about Chinese medicine, of course, is everything is connected. So in order to have a shining Shen, we all want a shining Shen, right? And we want a nice calm, tranquil, but aware kind of energy going on, so that we can basically deal with stress. We have to build that up through the different burners, because we can't just rely on working on the upper burner. So that's why it's so essential for us to tune in, do our focusing, see where we've got any weaknesses or blocks that we need to work on, and also just figure out which burner we want to work on. And as you know, if you've been here before, if you're new, welcome. But as you'll know, if you've been coming regularly, I know some of you have been coming for over 2 years now, you'll be very familiar with the idea of tuning in and focusing in and choosing one of the burners to work with. And I always try and tweak the class, change it around. Sometimes I've had to change it quite radically sometimes in the past when things have switched around quite quickly, but I try and tailor it as much as I can for you individually as a group. So here we go. So let's go deeper into the Shen, and we'll do it first of all by doing a whole body scan, and we'll do our focusing, and then I'll run. Thank you very much, Kim, for saying I'm shining nicely. Just caught that in the chat. Jacqueline's there, Edward, Jane, Liz, Kim's posted a couple of times. Yes, very good. Okay, I'm going to leave. I'm going to not look at the chat now, otherwise I'll be here all day. We've got to get on. And I'm quite interested to know what's happening in my energy, because it's been shifting about quite a lot lately. I've been going between the middle and upper burner quite a bit. And sometimes it's a bit of a surprise when you do tune in once a week and think, my goodness, is that how I really feel? I haven't had a chance to actually sense it all week. I've been too busy or life has taken over. So let's spend some time tuning in, sorting out which burners we want to work with. And then today, I think what we'll do is we'll work on those 3 burners and kind of get some connections going so that we get a nice shining calm Shen by the end of the session. Does it sound good? I think so. Okay, so let's do the focusing first of all. I've got my pad here, and you want really a whole piece of A4 for your initial focusing, which basically involves tuning into the entire body energy. There we go. There we are. I think I'm well framed in the thing. You just take a moment just to arrive in the space, okay? What we do today as well, because Shen is to do with consciousness and awareness, and part of that consciousness actually extends outside of space and time, it is possible to kind of get a feeling for the whole group, even though we're scattered right across Europe and maybe even beyond. Let's just see if we can just kind of tune into each other and get a sense of the group as a whole. So we're going to do that by just standing. Okay. Floating our head up, sinking our head down, sinking our sacrum down and just relaxing. And then what we'll do is we'll just imagine all the people in the chat and the people maybe who haven't posted, who are looking at the webinar. We'll just kind of energetically just kind of connect with them to kind of create a group. So we get that sense of being connected, even if it's just in our imagination. Okay, very good. Now we're going to take that wider awareness and we're going to focus inwards into ourselves. And we're going to scan our energy from the top of the head all the way down through the body. Just going to notice if there's anywhere that needs any work, whether there's any weakness or any blockages, okay? So here we go. So I'm going to just, again, with my mind's eye, I'm just scanning down, just checking out my top of my head here, through the scalp, through the eyes, ears, nose and mouth, and then down through the throat area. Just notice if there's anything you need to work on there. And then we go down through the shoulders, down the arms, down through the chest area, through the torso, checking also the back as we go along, checking down through the diaphragm, into the digestive system, right down into the pelvic floor, and then through the hips. We want to scan right into the hips, down through the legs, knees, ankles and feet. Okay, so we're kind of scanning all the way through. You probably felt a few things already, but now let's just take a step back, as it were, from ourselves and look and kind of, well, sense really our whole body energy. I'm going to close my eyes for a second just to go internally a bit. Maybe you'd like to do the same. I'll close my eyes and just get a sense for my whole body inside. Again, just sensing what is it like to be you right now in this space. Okay, and we're going to just turn that into an image in our minds, and we're going to draw that. And it doesn't have to be even, like, doesn't have to look like a person. It can be a metaphor, or it can be just an abstract picture, really, of your energy. If you want to do it like that, it's up to you. I generally put a little bit of arms and legs in, so I know where I want to work. Okay, right, good. Okay, so I've done my whole body scan. I really do need the Wednesday class today. As you can see, if I just show you my I've definitely got something going on there, and I think it's in the middle burner, but we'll find out in a moment. So now we're going to do the 3 burner scans, and we'll just see what we get with that. So if you'd like to just take a piece of paper and divide it into 3, I'm just going to divide it by just drawing through 2 lines like that. So we've got the upper, middle, and the lower burner in on the one piece of paper. Okay, excellent. Okay, so let's start off with the lower burner today, and we're just going to tune into just below the navel, around into the back of the around the sacrum and around here. So it's the lower burner. Again, I'm going to close my eyes just for a moment and go internally, sensing what is it like in that lower burner. Very good. Got the idea. And then we're going to go up into the middle burner. That's above the navel, below the diaphragm, and right the way around. Okay, and then the upper burner here is upper burner, the whole lungs and the heart area. Okay, very good, very interesting. Okay, so now we're just going to draw the 3 burners. Wow, okay. Again, that's your record, that's your image of the 3 burners today. And here we are, that's me. And I thought it was the middle burner, but you know, it's actually the upper burner that I need to work on the most. So that was a surprise. It shifted upwards, the feeling as I scanned. It's interesting when you do that, isn't it? Sometimes you go into the scans and things kind of shift around a bit, and you become aware of things that you weren't quite aware of before. Okay, so let's find the 3 burner pole. Let's have a look. Which burner do you want to work on most today? Let's have a look and see whether we've got the same pattern we've had the last few weeks. Recently we've had lower and upper being by far the most popular, middle burner in 3rd place. Okay, anyone else want to vote? Well, look at that. We're obviously all getting into tune with the fire element here, because we've got a massive majority this week for the upper burner. So let's have a look and see. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go straight in and ask you another question, which is, okay, I want to just find out what level you think you're working at. We did something like this last week. I'm just going to find out, if you look at your body scans, or you think about your burners, do you think it's more of an emotional thing or more of a physical thing, or a combination of the two that we're working with? And that will help me again pitch the class with some of the points and stuff like that. Let's just see. Okay, interesting. Pretty even split there between those of you who are sure it's physical or emotional, but most of you are voting for it being both physical and emotional. Okay, cool. Right, so let's get straight on. And we've got to really make sure that we sort out that upper burner today. And we can get to that point when we do the fire element meridians, and also, but let's work up to it slowly by building up from the lower burner before we get to the upper burner. And what we're going to do is we're going to do some connecting things here. And I'd just like you to try and just tune into this exercise first. And what we'll do is, as we go through the class today, we'll come back to this little test, if you like, and we'll see how much progress we're making. The reason for that is because for the upper burner to be balanced, it has to be connected to the middle and the lower burner. Particularly, you need really good, strong connection with the lower burner. And what can happen is it can kind of either get detached or become blocked and disconnects from the connections with the other burners. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get you to put your hand on the center of the chest around CV17. That's the like the heart center of the body. And we're going to place a hand on the lower dantian here, okay? And without doing anything at all, I'd like you to just assess out of 10 how strong you think the connection is, for your own reference, between the two hands? Do you immediately get a really strong connection? That would be a 10. Do they feel completely separate? That would be a 0, or somewhere in between the connection. And I want you to write that down. I'll tell you, I wouldn't score myself much above about a 2 at the moment for various reasons. So I'm going to write my score down here on my whole body scan. And then we're going to do it in an hour's time. We'll check again. We'll check as we go along as well, because that gives us information about what energy changes are good for us to connect up and get this upper burner integrated with the other lower burners. Sound like a good idea? Okay, so here we go. So first of all, let's just stand and relax. And let's see if we can just first of all get rid of any superficial tension or any tension that's in the muscles. Again, if there's any freeze anywhere, we're going to slowly release that with some shaking. And we're going to start off from the top of the head, from releasing the cranium. So we're going to imagine the head's floating up by a cord, and very important, relaxing and releasing the base of the cranium here. There's really important connections here, and down into the upper back. So I'm just going to start shaking that area first of all. Of course, the rest of the body will shake in connection with it. I'm just going to get that head really loose. Keep the shoulders really relaxed too. I'm opening my jaw. Nice deep breaths. Relaxing the throat. Let your jaw go, and let it just release out. Okay, very good. Now, I'd just like to point something out. That what will happen now is that as you do that and you relax the jaw and relax the throat, you'll start to send messages down through the vagal nerve and also down through the digestive system that gives you a feeling of kind of relaxation in the digestive system. So look, if you just open up here like I'm doing, relax the throat, and notice what happens to your tummy. And what you'll probably find is as you relax the jaw, as you relax the throat, and as you shake out some of that tension, it's going to start feeling a lot more comfortable in the whole digestive area. And that's, again, because the vagal nerve connection, and also because the digestive system is all part of one tube that goes down from the throat. So let's just shake that a little bit more. Keep that jaw released. That gives a nice calm feeling in the whole digestive area. And then we can start shaking the shoulders. Now, if we've got energy too much in the head, which a lot of us have, I know that, we can start shaking that up down through the hands, down through the feet. Okay, and then we relax the chest area. And then down into the diaphragm. So now we're going to just jiggle the diaphragm up and down a bit. So just to get the whole abdominal organs just shaking a little bit. Try and relax this area here. And what will happen is as you do this, you get the viscera in the digestive system will just slowly start massaging the lower part of the diaphragm. And if we combine that with the breathing, we've got the kind of diaphragm being worked from above and below, as it were. Okay, so we can do this sort of thing. Breathing out. Nice and gentle. Oh dear, that's my upper burner. It's my lungs. Okay, now just going back and remembering to release that jaw. Open the throat. Shake it all the way down. Feel the connection with the diaphragm. Get that whole digestive system really nice and relaxed. Go down now. Now we can go right down deep into the hips. I'm just shaking a little bit deeper down now, and you can shake out each of the hips. Shaking right the way down to the feet. Keeping that throat really open. Relaxing the whole digestive system, feeling that right down into the hips, the knees and the feet. We got it? Okay, excellent. Brilliant. Okay, so now let's just do a quick check. Let's check the connection between here and here. Again, relaxing. Whoa, okay, and see if you can score that. See if that's gone up at all from your original perception. In other words, putting your hands here, do you naturally get more of a connection? And certainly I've probably put mine up to about a 3 or a 4 now. And that's amazing because all we've done is just shaking. But that shaking, especially if you focus it in on the diaphragm, starts to shift, and also this relaxing the throat tends to relax the middle burner through the digestive system. And sometimes if you've got middle burner things going on, like I have, you'll find that this obstruction sometimes stops that. So if you felt a really good change there, it could be because you need to release more in the middle burner. So that's something just to note, okay? So here we go. Now we've kind of already started to move the middle burner. We've shaken out some of the tension. We've got some kind of thing going on here. Now it's time to really start expanding our awareness out and starting to get some really nice solid grounding and building up the lower burner. So let's start off right on kidney 1 today. We're going to stimulate kidney 1 and build up from there and see if we can build up the energy in the lower dantian, ultimately to calm and nourish the upper burner. Okay, so it's time for me to get my chair, which I've got hidden behind here. Here it is. There we are. So it's time for kidney 1. Nice and early in the session this week. Now you might think it's a bit strange that the point on the foot is related to the heart, but actually it is through the yin of the body. It's really important to tonify the yin of the body in order to have a calm mind and a calm shen, a kind of bright shen, because the yin of the body helps us keep everything calm. So what we're doing here is we're stimulating this point. Remember, it's 1/3 of the distance down the midline of the foot, right in here. I'm just going to tap it gently, the hand. Okay, good press as well. So what can damage the heart? Well, according to Chinese medicine, too much joy can damage the heart. When you kind of get completely hysterical and kind of like, really ungrounded with it, and you're really kind of overexcited, burning up with heat, you can't keep calm and things like that. That's an indication of the fire element being unbalanced. Okay? So even though joy is the emotion of the fire element, what it wants to be is nice, calm, happy joy, not over the top, superheated, overexcitement. Okay, because the idea is to keep it nice and happy, but calm and happy. And this is the point we need to start working to start that process off. We've got points on the actual heart channel, which I'll share with you later on point of the week. Looking forward to that. But I have to say that the foundation of the yin of the body, of the yin of the heart, the so-called heart yin, which is so important, this is where it all starts. It starts at the feet, and it starts with the connection with the earth. That's why we're doing kidney 1 to start with, even though we're going to be working on the heart later in the session. Okay, so let's get that kidney 1 open, and then we'll do some internal Qigong and really get a lovely connection with the earth, and then we'll start building it up through the body, and finally we'll get to the upper heater, by which time we'll have plenty of yin in the body that we can use to nourish the heart. There we go. Very good. Okay, so this is the Okay, so what is yin then in the body? Well, yin is the cooling, quiet, solid parts of the body, and we can get in touch with that and nourish that by connecting with the earth, because the earth is yin and the heavens are yang, and we take those qualities in Chinese thought. The character for a person is a connection between heaven and earth. It's a mixture of heaven and earth, a mixture of yin and yang. Okay, so let's really get in touch with the yin, the body. Can you feel that lovely feeling of kidney 1 opening? We're just going to shake that out a little bit. Connect kidney 1 with the earth. And let's do some internal Qigong now. We're going to build on what we did last week. Rub our hands together and place them on the lower dantian. Okay, we're going to tuck that tail in slightly. Keep the hips really relaxed. Feet shoulder width apart and parallel or slightly turned in. Head floating up. Shoulders relaxed. Relaxing right through the core of the body. We bring our awareness into the breath. We're going to use the breath like we did last week to connect with the earth. Show you how to do that. We'll just do it all together. We're going to breathe in and imagine the breath going down into the lower dantian. So we imagine it filling up, the breath filling up this whole area here. So the Qi from the breath comes in with the breath and comes into here. So let's do that breathing in. Okay. And now what we do is we direct the Qi through the hips, through the knees, through the feet, and we imagine it going down into the earth like a root. The breath comes out. Okay, so breathing out. Open your kidney 1, send that root down into the center of the earth. Very good. Okay, then take another breath in. We're going to do it 3 times. Okay, so this is the second time. Breathe out. Send that Qi down through the legs, down through kidney 1 and into the earth. Okay, so what we're doing is we're directing our Qi, our energy down into the root to create the roots. In a minute, we're going to get the yin up those roots, but just do it one more time. Breathing in. Breathing out. Just imagine those roots going right down. Okay, excellent. So now part 2, what we're going to do now is we're going to use our mind to bring the yin of the earth up, using our intention up. So the breath will come in, the yin will come up from the earth, they'll mingle here into the lower dantian, and then we breathe out and we keep that energy here in the lower dantian. Okay, do you want to try it? It's a little bit more advanced, but I'm sure you'll get it. Okay, so here we go. We're going to bring the breath in. As I'm doing that, I'm imagining that those roots are taking liquid up through bubbling spring. Remember, it's called bubbling spring, that point. Up through kidney 1 bubbling spring, up through the legs and into the lower dantian. Okay, hold the breath. And now you've got 2 things mingling here. You've got the yin, basically, of the earth, and the yang from the breath. And that's filling up this whole area with yin and yang power, basically, Qi. Okay, so here we are holding it. And now we're going to breathe out. And we're just going to relax, and we're going to keep this yin and yang energy kind of thing right here in the lower dantian. We're holding it and gathering it here, okay? Strengthening our body. Okay, how about that? Isn't that awesome? Okay, so let's do that a couple more times. Take it nice and easy. It's very powerful stuff. We just take it nice and easy. Don't overdo it. So here we go. Ready? So breathing in at the same time, drawing up the yin from the earth into the lower dantian. And we're going to hold that breath. Hold that yin and yang there and fill it out. Keep the hips relaxed. Keep that space there. Keep the pelvic floor strong with your imagination and fill that whole area with the yin and yang energy. So what I mean by that is kind of solid feeling of coolness and also a kind of warmth of activity. You've got both those there, giving you a feeling of strength. And then we breathe out, keeping and containing the energy into the lower dantian, okay? Brilliant. Okay, want to do it one more time? Here we go. So here we go. Breathing in. Bring up that yin from the earth. Open up that kidney 1. Hold it. And breathe out. Containing it here. Okay, excellent. Right. Feel calmer? The chances are now you're going to feel a lot stronger here, and you're going to feel a lot calmer, because that's the quality of the yin energy coming up from the earth. So now let's check in and score our connection between the lower dantian and the upper dantian again. Again, it's a personal score, and you're not trying anything, you're just placing your hands there, relaxing, and just asking yourself, how connected are these 2 points? If you had to score them between 0, no connection, and 10, full-on connection, what would you score it at? Okay. Okay, now I think I've probably got up another 1 or 2. Where was I at before? I was up to 3 or 4. I think I'm getting up to 4 now, 4 or 5. And I think the reason that got that is because this is so much stronger. First of all, we released this area, that increased the strength of it. But now, strengthening up the lower dantian is really important. And if that happened to you, and you found that with this exercise that we just did, kidney 1, remember, opening up kidney 1, and doing this, if you've got an increase, a dramatic increase in this connection, it could be because you actually want to stimulate and increase the yin and yang in the lower burner, and that's kind of tells us something, doesn't it? And that's the great thing about these exercises. We're getting feedback all the way through, and we can remember that during the week, take that in, and just maybe take 1 or 2 of the exercises out. Just 5 minutes a day make a huge difference to how we're feeling in the week. Okay, very good. So we've got a lovely pooling of yin and yang energy in the lower dantian. So now it's time to make sure that we've got this middle burner released. Now, we already did quite a bit of that when we relaxed. Remember relaxing the jaw, actually the throat, relaxing all the way down when we were shaking. Okay. And that would have opened up the stomach and spleen channels. So the main thing now is to make sure that the liver channel is freely flowing in the middle burner, because that's where we often hold a lot of emotions like anger, frustration, and stuff like that. And that's a characteristic of the middle burner, to get blocked by the liver Qi stagnation. So let's make sure we do something about that. When you do that, the best exercise, my favorite exercise of that, is a simple twisting exercise. But we need to direct it into the middle burner. We're going to float the head up. We're going to just slowly move from left to right. But as we're doing that, we're focusing our attention into the middle burner, and we're releasing it as much as we can as we go around. Now, if you've got a lot of stagnation, then you want to really make it stronger. You can increase the power of the connection and tap like this, like that. Okay. What happens now is when you tap here, you're actually tapping some really very interesting points on the liver channel. There's liver 13 there. If you're tapping around here, you're already twisting and opening up the gallbladder channel and the liver channel, and you're also stimulating some very interesting points there on the liver channel. So it's a real all-purpose exercise, this. Just do it for a little while. Okay, see, I'm keeping my hips fairly straight here, so I'm getting quite a lot of turning there in the waist. Nice and easy. But now perhaps we should do some tapping on the channels, okay? So let's just work the liver and gallbladder channels today. We're going to go down the outside of the liver channel. Tapping the gallbladder channel, the liver channel, is a good way of moving stagnation in the channels and helping the middle burner. So what we're going to do is just tap around here first of all. Okay, and then we're going to go nice and gently down the outside of the legs. Don't forget this point just below the knee here, gallbladder 34. And then go down the outside of the legs and up the inside. And then up. Oh, I can feel a burp coming on. Burping is good, by the way. If you get burping, that's a really good sign that you're shifting some of that liver qi. Down we go. The outside of the body, and up the inside. The outside. Very good. Okay, just do one more. Pass down the channels. Tapping into get right into gallbladder 30 here. Excellent stuff. Okay, right. So now let's just do a little check here. First of all, let's just do this twisting exercise. And you'll probably find it's quite a lot easier to do that. And that's because we've opened up the channels, we've shifted some of the Qi stagnation in the middle burner. This is nice and easy. But how about checking the connection thing again? Because if you get a real uptick in your connection, now it's an indication you've probably got some middle burner stagnation there. And so you know what to do for the rest of the week. So let's just try it. Placing one hand on the lower dantian, one hand on the upper, and then just checking in. Okay, so you may not feel any change, but if you do, it's an indication that moving that liver, that middle burner, has really helped you. Okay, so again, we're finding out more and more about our own energy as we go along. Excellent. So we've built up the lower burner. We've released the stomach and spleen through using the throat and the shaking. We've opened up the middle burner by using the tapping down the channels and also the twisting exercise. So all is good. Now, the next thing to do is to work on the upper burner. So we're going to be doing point of weeks in and experiencing some of the meridian exercises for the heart. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so the heart chakra, or the emotional center of the body, is often represented right in the center of the chest here. There's an acupuncture point called CV17, which you might know if you're a Shiatsu practitioner. So this is kind of like the central point. So we can do quite a lot of exercises that involve tonifying and opening and working on this area. But bear in mind also that it goes through into the center of the back. So we've got really a whole sensation right the way through. And it's very common when we're under stress for either the front or the back or both in that area to tighten up. Okay. So a lot of the exercises we're doing now are basically to release this whole area here using channels and other exercises. So probably the simplest thing we can do is just a simple thing where we bring the hands forwards. Okay. Breathe into the upper heater in this time and around CV17, around the central area here, breathing in there. Breathing out, opening the hands out. We're going for the middle finger. Okay, and we're just sensing, what does it feel like in that chest area and deep into the center of the chest? Does it feel kind of weak? Or does it feel blocked, somewhere in between? Or does it feel okay? Does it feel open? You know, all those kind of things. Is it a happy feeling? What kind of color is it? That kind of thing. Okay, and we're going to breathe out. Let's do that a couple more times. Again, tuning into this whole area here. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, very good. Now we can do some work on the pericardium channel, which is the slightly more outside channel, and then we can go for point of the week and do some experiments with that. Okay, so ready? So we're going to start tapping here on the pericardium channel. If it feels very weak here, I would just hold this area. I wouldn't tap it. If it feels very weak and kind of like you feel maybe a bit breathless and weak, so I would just hold and work down by holding like this. Just hold as long as you like to get that feeling, nice feeling of warmth down the channel. However, if you've got obstruction here, in other words, if it feels kind of stiff when you press in here, maybe sore and stiff, you may want to just get it moving with using some tapping. And what I generally do is I get my knuckles here, like this, and I make sure they go in between the ribs, because then they kind of open and start easing out the intercostal muscles, which are really important for getting the whole rib cage and the whole thing moving. Okay, so this is a pericardium channel, just tapping away here, opening this whole area up, and then once we get to here, oh, excuse me, that's still, my liver chi is still releasing there, which is interesting because in fact this channel relates to the liver channel. If you're interested in some more advanced TCM theory, oh sorry, I'm burping like mad. This channel is related directly to the liver because it's in the same place on the arm as the leg. which could account for why I'm getting more burping the more I'm doing the pericardium channel. So that's something to watch out for. I don't know if anyone else is having a burping fit like me. But there we go. I'm going to go down here onto the hand, and then just for continuity, we're going to go up the triple heater channel, and we're obviously going to get onto these channels much later in the year, and then round again. So let's just see if we can get this whole area. Again, you may want to just hold the channel all the way down the middle of the arm if you'd rather do that. If you're feeling a bit weaker, that's fine too. And if you're doing that, just see if you can find places where it feels really nice. You can find places as you go down, maybe around the wrist, where you can feel a nice warm feeling in the chest. And you know you've hit some subos or points, acupuncture points. Okay, I'm going to still to get a few more burps out, so I'm going to continue with the tapping. I'm just going to do some fairly light, gentle tapping here, down onto the hand, and then back up. Excellent stuff. Okay, just tapping it on top of the shoulder, and brushing off. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so now it's the other side. So we've done this side, so that's this side. Down the middle of the arm. Up the triple heater channel. It might be interesting to know that these are also fire element meridians. We're going to be getting on to them later in the year, actually, more towards the end of the year. Again, if you feel a bit weak, you might want to just hold these channels. See if you can try to find a place where holding them gives you a nice warm feeling in the chest, and then you know you've got a really good subo there. Subos are basically acupuncture points or points along the channels that give you access, and something happens when you press them. Okay, so let's just brush on. Okay, very good. So let's just do a little test again. Let's go, bring the arms up, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, can you feel a lot more warmth there, kind of ease in the upper part of the body around the upper heater? And that's because we have activated the pericardium meridian. Very good. Okay, how about a little check? Let's just see how we're connecting now, because if you get a dramatic increase now, it means that you probably need the pericardium channel worked. Again, something to bear in mind for the rest of the week. So I'm going to place my hand here, place my hand there, relax, and without forcing anything, just assess the change in the connection. And you may get a dramatic change, or maybe it feels pretty much the same, in which case you probably want to work on some of the other places where you've got more action going on. Okay, it's a real self-awareness thing, this, isn't it? Okay, so now we've worked on the pericardium channel, it's time to go deeper, because the heart meridian is much deeper than the pericardium channel, as we can tell by the points. I'm just going to remind you the points we've done so far, and then I'm going to add in one more point of the week. We'll have three points to experiment with. We've got heart 1, which is a great point for unbinding the chest. We're going to work on that in a second. We've got heart 7, which we did last week, which is this one that calms the spirit. And we've got another one. Just think. This we did work this last week, but I didn't do it as point of the week, I don't think. Just trying to remember, actually. I don't know if anyone can tell me in the chat. Let me just think. I'm just trying to think. Let me just have a look here. Yeah, we did heart 1 last week, which was the 4th. And so it's heart 7th actual week this week, even though we did work it. So I think perhaps we ought to just have a real more detailed look at this point. Look at what it's called, Shenmen, or spirit gate. It calms the spirit, regulates and tonifies the heart. It's used for insomnia, heart pain and palpitations. Mad laughter. Remember I mentioned mad laughter earlier on and insulting people? Anyone been doing any of that lately? You need heart 7. I'll show you exactly where it is. It's on the wrist here. I'll give you a nice close up. It's pretty easy to find, actually, because what you do is you just find the wrist crease. You know where the wrist crease is here, and It's just here. It's not round here, by the way. It's not right round here. It's actually there, more on the flat side of the hand. It's going down towards here. It's going down towards the middle of this finger here. So if you imagine, if you trace that back up, you'll find it right here. Okay. And this is really quite a deep point. I'd like to do a little exercise connecting it with heart one. I'm going to start off with heart one, and then we're going to work through. Okay, so first of all, let's really open up heart one. This is a really important point, and we've used this loads of times when we've been doing the egg under the armpit thing. So feet shoulder width apart, head floating up, sacrum hanging down, shaking out any tension. And this is where we imagine an egg under the armpit. Now look, I'll give you a little bit of an experience here, and we'll do this together. If I close up my armpit and I tighten it up so that it's blocked, feel how the energy gets obstructed down into the arms, and also feel how you feel kind of like tight in the chest area. You feel kind of like, ugh. Okay, if I close up the armpit, what I'm doing is contracting just the armpit underneath the armpit, and you can feel that effect that it has. And it's kind of like quite a disturbing feeling of feeling kind of a stress. Now look, if we open up now, shake it out a little bit. Okay, put that egg underneath the armpit. And you'll notice that first of all, you'll notice probably a couple of things. First, the chi tends to move down the hands, down into the hands immediately, so your hands get warmer. Okay, and also another really important thing that you'll notice is you feel more relaxed in the chest area, and that's because heart one, if you remember, unbinds the chest. So let's keep that open. Let's move the arms up. Place the hands in the prayer position. And keep that heart one open. Gently move the hands back behind you. Open up heart one. Okay, and there you have it. That sensation down into the little finger is opening up the heart channel. It's opening up heart one. Now, if we bring our attention directly into the armpit, breathe in. Okay, and then we breathe out and we release the armpit, just the armpit. There's a good chance you're going to feel like a surge of energy or chi down into the little finger just by releasing the armpit. So let's just do that again. Breathing in. Focus all your attention on your armpit. Okay, and then breathe out, slow exhalation. Relax the armpit. Okay, can you feel that sensation going down to the little finger? That is the heart channel opening because we're opening heart one. Let's just do it one more time. Breathing in. Focus in on the armpit. Relax. Breathe out. Awesome. Okay, can you feel that? That's the heart channel opening out. And that's an amazing, amazing sensation because it's slightly stretched and you're unblocking heart one. Okay. Now we can go back to this position, open up the armpits again. Okay, do you feel that warmth going down into the hands, especially the little finger there tingling away? That's the heart channel nicely activated. Let's go on a little journey down the channel. We're just going to palm down the channel. I'd just like you to feel where it is. It runs down the back here. It goes into this point here. This is actually heart 3, which is on the chart. I just showed you heart 3. And then goes down here to heart 7. So let's just squeeze gently in here. I'm using my thumb here. Can you see that? From heart 1 down. So all my fingers are just grasping here. My thumb is what's doing the action. It's underneath the armpit here. Just get down so you can see. Let's get down here. That's it. That's it. So I've got armpit, thumb, like that. Yeah, and then you go down here, self shiatsu. You get to here, just on the inside of this bony bit here, and that's heart 3. Another great point for releasing the chest. So if you just gently press into here, keep that armpit open, keep that egg open. A lovely feeling all the way into the chest. This is very, very calming for the heart. Okay, and then go down, self shiatsu, and we get to heart 7. And again, open the armpits up, relax, and you'll get that really nice opening feeling in the chest and a calming feeling in the heart. We'll go down to the little finger and just give it a squeeze. We'll do this next week. This is the end of the heart channel. Okay, so we just do that one more time. So opening up the armpit, getting the thumb right in there, opening it out this way so that we've got the whole arm out like this. Yeah, and then we're working down. The thumb is what's doing the action. This is just supporting. And when you get to here, right on the inside here, just at the end of this crease here, you see this crease here? Just at the end of that crease is heart 3. Another point for opening up the chest. And go down. And keep it nice and calm. I'm intentionally doing this with self-shiatsu rather than the tapping, because the heart meridian really is a bit of a sensitive channel, and you want to make sure that you don't overstate it. So we're just tonifying, balancing it. A lot of these points are very strong balancing actions, and they're generally a good thing. Let's just do it one more time. Opening up the armpits, stretching in. Going down. Onto heart 3. Just at the end of the crease there. See? Yeah. And down to heart 7. Holding it for a second, keeping that egg under the armpit, don't forget that. And then down to heart 9, which we'll do next week. It's the point of the week. Okay, how about that? Wow, that feels great. Okay, so now we're going to do the other side. Egg under the armpit and then thumb under the armpit. And then we do the same thing this side. Nice and calmly working down. There is no rush for the heart meridian. You can't rush the heart meridian. So take your time. Enjoy the feelings of the points, particularly like heart 3 here. Could almost have been point of the week, couldn't it? Because this is a really calming point. It's also very, very good for releasing the chest. It's a cooling point. It's just really good all round. Maybe I'll put it in next week as well. I don't know. Let's see. Go down to there. And that's heart 7. And then down to finish off, down to the little finger here. That's the way. Okay, let's do it again. So open the armpit up. Work down. You might want to close your eyes just to see what the internal effects of what you're doing are. What we're looking for is connections between these points and the chest area, basically. So here we go. Down. Just finding some subos, anything that kind of like takes my attention, and then right in there for heart 7. Okay, just one more and then we'll finish up. Nice and calm, keep that armpit open. Heart 3. Very good. Okay, here we go. Heart 7. And then down to finish up. Okay, excellent stuff. Now, what we should find is if we stand back up again, or if you're still standing, that's fine. And now we've got that, really energized that channel. This was awesome the way we did this and opened all that up. And now we've done some specific work on the heart channel. We're just standing, opening up underneath the armpits. You'll get a probably feel like a sensation down to the little finger, and definitely a more calm, centered feeling in the whole upper burner there. Okay, so now it's time to check in. So we're going to place our hand on the lower dantian and the upper dantian. So the middle dantian actually basically is the lower burner and the upper burner. And we're going to just see when we relax, do we get a connection between the hands? In other words, do they feel like they're converging, or do you feel like they're connecting together through the body? Or do they feel very separate? And again, if you scored that out of 10, would you give yourself a higher score? And I definitely would. I'm getting up to that 8 now, 7 or 8 out of 10, I think. And that was made a big difference for me. And I think it's because it was voted for the upper burner. So again, it's self-development, isn't it? Self-awareness, finding out. So maybe this week I'm going to make sure I do work in Heart 1 and down to Heart 7, and maybe do this every day. And I think that was a no abdominal breathing, get me through the week. Okay, excellent. Okay, so we've just got about 5 minutes left, I think, haven't we? Yeah, we've just got about 4 or 5 minutes left now. So we just need to just make sure we clear out those yang channels and do some breathing. So let's just tap around the head. So we go 3 times over the top of the head, 3 times around the sides of the head, and then the forehead, and then down, squeezing down around the sinus areas, squeezing down around through the jaw, all related to the stomach channel, squeezing the SCM. And quite a lot of that, relaxing that with relaxing the throat and the yawning and everything. Okay, and then squeezing down the back of the neck. Tapping the shoulders. Brushing off down the arms, brushing off down the front, sides, and the back. And then finally, if you can reach up around here, it's a good idea just to give the back a little bit of a tap. A bit of a shake. Okay, very good. So now let's put it all together with some breathing. Just going to remind ourselves of some of the important things we've done today. And that all started with kidney 1, didn't it? Right down there, after we'd relaxed the digestive system through the internal relaxation, we've worked on kidney 1. So let's just remind ourselves, let's place the hands over the lower dantian. And just a few breaths, we're going to breathe the breath in. We're going to breathe the yin up from the earth. We're going to hold it there, hold the breath and the yin in the lower dantian, okay? And we're going to breathe out. And we're going to hold that energy there in the lower burner. The breath goes out. Okay, once more. As much cool, lovely yin from the earth, bring up as you breathe in, bring the breath in from above. Excellent. Okay, hold it. Keep that kidney 1 nice and open. Oh my goodness, another burp, I can't believe it. And then breathing out. Excellent. Okay, one more, breathing in. Hold it, combine that yin and yang in the lower dantian. And then breathe out and keep it there. Okay. And then we did all this work releasing the middle burner, remember that? And then we did the pericardium work and the heart work for the upper burner. So now let's just see if we can get that up to 10 out of 10, the connection. We're going to use our mind now to just get that last little bit of connection. So we're going to bring the awareness into the lower dantian. Breathe really deeply. Gather the qi there. Okay, just a few breaths nicely, just like we've just been doing. Okay, and now we're going to place the hand in the upper burner and let's direct the qi there for a bit by breathing into this area, breathing into this hand, breathing out, relaxing the upper burner. Okay, so now let's use direct our breath. We're going to breathe in first to here and then send it down to here. So it's like opening a tube all the way down. We're going to hold the breath. As we're holding the breath, imagine those two hands merging together and becoming one. Hold the breath. Very good. And now breathing out and let that connection get even stronger as we breathe out. Okay, and even if you need to use your imagination, you can imagine a tube between these two, and you can feel, experience the imagination connecting the two up. So let's do it another couple of times, breathing in, Breathing in, hold it, connect, breathing out, slowly out. Imagine a connection. Breathing in, hold it, connect the two hands, use your imagination, and breathe out. Okay, excellent stuff. So look at the time. Oh my goodness, it's 1 minute past. Can you believe it? I've overrun. Okay, so it's just shaking out and just really enjoying that feeling. I hope you enjoyed the session. I tell you what, I needed it probably as much as anyone in the group. Really, let's just quickly look at the chat again and see how we're doing. Okay, wow, what an active chat. My goodness. Thank you, Dinah, for pitching in there. All right, Mr. Burp. Yeah, what a lot of burping. That is a real sign of moving the middle burner, chi stagnation. And you notice that we did quite a lot of internal work today. And the reason for that is because the Shen is a really internal thing. And to really get to grips with it, you need to go deep inside and connect that yin up, yin and yang up, particularly the yin of the kidneys. And that will give us a totally calm, shining Shen for the rest of the week. Thank you so much. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, see you next week. I'm going to put a heart in the chat again. Okay, cool. All right. See you next time. Have a great week. Yeah, it'll be week 3 for the fire element next week. Thank you very much, Basti, and thank you for Dinah for chipping in on the chat.